Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be installing a framework that allows us to basically run all of our layouts without using storyboard. You do have the method of using NS layouts with anchors. That works as well. But I find this framework called SnapKit to be much easier to use and much easier to understand and read. It's much more readable in my opinion. Obviously, the downside to any sort of framework or dependency is the fact that we're dependent on it, and if they stop updating it, it will not work for us. So this solution works now, but maybe in a few years, if someone stops working on SnapKit, this won't work as well. But I find SnapKit to be really easy to use, and is the reason why I actually recommend it. Alright, so to get started, you want to open your personal terminal, whichever one you like, and then you're gonna go and you're gonna want to kind of direct yourself over to the where your Xcode file is. If you're a developer, you should know where it is. You should know how to type on terminal. Anyway, so it's CD to get you to anywhere. For me, my location of my Xcode file is inside desktop, and then I remember calling it called Skillshare. So go into your Xcode profile, like your Xcode file directory. Once you get there, you want to do a pod init. You should have Cocoapod installed already. I won't be able to show you how to install Cocoapod here, but if you have a Mac, you do brew install Cocoapods, and before that you have to do install brew. Brew is basically homebrew. You can search on Google, search for homebrew to install that, or if you have another installer, you can try that as well. But you search online on how to install Cocoapods. There are many articles, most of them are pretty accurate on how to install it. Anyways, once you get that done, you want to do vim pod file. I have vim. You can use something else. There's also nano for it as well. You can also do nano. I use vim. You can also, if you like, if you're not really comfortable with using terminal at all, is once you do pod init, you can go to desktop wherever your file is, and you'll find a pod file. You can just open that up, and you can do editing there. Anyways, so I'm gonna do that. For me, I'm more comfortable in the terminal vim pod file. All right, so once you get in and you open it, you're gonna want to go to here, around here where it says where there's a comment here that says pods for Skillshare label button stack view. And in here we're gonna do a pod SnapKit. And then for me, I have to do some extra work for that, but that is how you would do it. And you can see pod SnapKit. Just to show you guys the file for it, this is actually the name for it, SnapKit. This is their GitHub, and they'll show you how to do this. So this is how you install Cocoapods, and then you do pod install and things like that. This is how they're telling you to do the pod for install. It's up to you how you want to do it. And then once you're done, you do a pod install, which would install the profiles, and you would actually want to quit this at this point because you don't want to have it open while this is happening. Okay, so it's done now, and as you can see now, you have a different profile, another file. It's called XC Workspace versus XC Code Project. So it's actually a little bit different in that sense. Anyway, so we're gonna open XC Workspace. Okay, so you're gonna go through here, and you can see that the layout's a little bit different already from your Xcode project. Now you have a bunch of pods and things like that. Nothing to be scared about. We're gonna go back into the view control.swift, and we're gonna immediately do an import. And we're gonna do import SnapKit. As you can see, SnapKit's already there. My laptop just indexing it. It's great. So it works now. We're gonna remove this print statement here. We're gonna do a label really quick. We're gonna do a hello world. Your typical technical kind of thing. We're going to give it a type of UI label. Make sure to also import UIKit when you have a view controller. That's how you get UI labels and things like that. Also for name conventions, make it as easy as readable as possible. So hello world label. You're going to do that. That text equals to whatever you want. So I'm going to write hello world. Obviously I can't type. Okay, so here's where the thing is a little bit different from what you usually do. You're used to probably having your labels here. You connect it to storyboard here, and then inside of your functions you write hello world label.text equals hello world, or you do the storyboard, right? So here we're gonna do self.view.add subview, and we're gonna do hello world label. This should make sense for now, right? You're initializing the label, you're giving it a text, and then you're adding it to your view. And the view is basically the view controller's view. And then in here, what you want to do now, This is specific to SnapKit, is hello.snp dot make constraints, and this is a closure, and you can do whatever we want here in closure. The typical standard is make, and this basically creates a closure for you. And what this does is you want to do is make that top. What you're doing here now, you're doing the top constraint of this label. You do that equal to super view, and offset. This brings it down, so you're offsetting it from wherever the point. So we're telling the top, we're telling the label right now to go to the top of the view, and let's just say we want to bring it down 100 points. So we're going to have the offset. We're going to give it a width to equal to super view, right? And then maybe multiply it by 0.8. What this does is it takes the width, you multiply 0.8, so you only have one. Basically, you have eight parts of the width, so you're actually getting a little bit. So your width is actually shrinked a bit. And then we want to also censor this now. So make dot censor x equals to super view, and this basically censors out that label. And if we were to run this now on an iPhone SE, let's see how that looks like. So obviously we haven't done anything at all. You actually should also do another thing here, which is set a background color. I'm just gonna do system background. It's iOS 13, of course it is. Let's do that black. Actually, not white because the label I believe is black. So we're gonna do that right now. As you can see, right here is hello world. So our constraints are alright. So right here, it's top and then 100. Its width is going to be that. So if you want to confirm that the width is right, we do hello world label dot background color equals to dot red, just so that we know exactly how it looks like on the label on compared to the screen. So this is the width now. So 0.8 is basically this is the screen. So the reason why the text is not centered is because we didn't align it. So we could do a text alignment. And then we can do dot center, and this will center our text for us. Let's just run it here, right there. So we could actually remove that red now, so we know, because we know that actually works. So this is how you would add a label. In reality, this is how you add everything, whichever one you want. So something a little harder would be something like a button, right? We could create a hello button, and this is a UI button. Right, these are things you remember how to see. So a little bit trickier. Hello button. Set title, for example. It's text is hello for normal. So basically, you have a bunch of sets here for different states. So for example, if the button was quote unquote disabled, it should have maybe a different state, or and all of that. So for us, it's just not normal. And then again, it's a sub.view that add subview hello button. Right, and then hello button, hello button the snap dot make constraints make in. Right, so now we want to change it a bit. Right, we want to see, so where do we want to put the hello button? Right, do we want to put it here? We want to put it where? So we want to put it in the bottom. So what we want to do here now is make that bottom dot equal to super view. So now the button is going to be here, and here we're going to do dot inset, and we're going to move it up 100. So the reason why it's called inset is because you're bringing it up. So instead of 100, actually, like, you would want to actually, just for easier reading, would be offset minus 100. That way you know that it's from bottom minus 100, so it knows to go up, because when you do offsets, it's going down this way. So if it was offset, it would go this way, but we want to bring it up. So we don't want the width to be exactly the same as the width of the view this time. What we do want to do is make that censor x that equals super view. So another thing that's a little bit trickier about these using programming is that you have to actually acknowledge and know a lot of these kind of hidden compartmentalizations about every single item. So for example, for a button, if you don't give it a width and a height, it's just going to take whatever it wants. Or for example, if you don't give a stack view its edges, it won't work correctly, or something with scroll views, like you don't give it the same correct size. I mean, these are things you actually have to figure out storyboard anyways, but it's just something that I think you might have more of a hurdle on when you try to do programming wise. So for example, so here we go, right here, and then let's just say we want to have hello button dot background color, just so we have something, right? I'm gonna do red again. This is my default for figuring out, making sure that everything is laid out correctly. And then you can do hello button dots layer dots corner radius. So this gives it a little bit of corner radius, so it's not edgy. Give it 8. And we want to give it a width and a height, just so the button has some sort of size. So you want to do a width of you create whatever you want. So I wouldn't do exactly numbers all the time because every screen has different size, so you have to make sure that they can shrink correctly. So that's another thing you have to think about when you're creating buttons, is that they have to actually like work. So you have to make sure the width that you're setting and things like that are based on the device's size and not just random hard-coded numbers. For example, if I made the width equals to like 500, no phone's device is 500 pixels wide, it's not gonna break, but it's gonna overflow the screen. So similar to this. So instead, I do make that width equals super view, so that's the size of the screen, and I multiply it by 0.8, so it shrinks it a bit. But these are things that you would learn on the way while you're doing SnapKit as you go. It's a little bit easier to read. Obviously, if you want to do Swift UI, you can see things immediately. It's much better. And also I'm running on an iPhone SE because this is one of the smallest devices that Apple offers. So if it runs on a small screen, it'll run on a bigger screen. Actually, another thing about Storyboard I didn't like was if you ran something here on a small screen and you kind of finicked around with it and you did auto layout, set auto constraint, it'll work on the iPhone SE, and then you run on an iPhone 11, it'll be like bonkers and just goes everywhere. It's really annoying. Anyway, so here's SnapKit right now, hello world with a hello button. It doesn't do anything right now, so that's the next thing we're going to change. We're going to do hello button dot set title color equals to dot gray dot selected. So this is when basically when someone taps on the button, when it's focused, basically when you tap on it, it will change its color so that you get this kind of selected phase in a way. So just to show you a little bit like that. So let me see if we can get it. Nope, that's not it. It's selected. There we go, highlighted. I was trying to find that. I didn't know where it went. Anyways, this should work now. Yep, there we go, highlighted. Hello. So it gives us this kind of selected state for that button. So that's what we want to do. Next, let's just try to add a target, right? Let's just do that as well. So hello button dot add target. This is something that I'm pretty sure everyone is pretty used to by now, since you have to do this all the time with Storyboard. Just for ease of reading it, we're gonna do that. Touch up inside. These are things you remember. We're gonna create a private. Well, first it has to be conforming to Objective-C, private, so that no one else can access it. Func hello button tapped underscore sender type UI button. Okay, if sender. So you could do if sender is hello button, but you have to move this up to the global class, for example. So it would be something like this. Private let hello button, right? Then here we're gonna do if sender is equals to hello button, then we want to do a print hello button tapped. Simple enough. We're just gonna run this for now, just so that you have an idea of how all these work in code together. So now we have hello button. Let's just run this here on the simulator. Hello button tapped. So every time tap on it, hello button tapped, right? So that's how you add a button. So that's all great and stuff, right? Now we've learned how to basically present it from the top, present it from the bottom, and show it in the center of the screen. But most applications sometimes just aren't like this, right? You might have a scroll view or a stack view. But those are things that you would have to learn along the way. I can show you how to do a sub view really quickly in a scroll view, but that'll be on the next episode just as a bonus one. I don't want to take too much of your time on doing all of this, but this is basically how you would start using start using SnapKit and getting rid of Storyboard. this is really simple. Like I've said, obviously there's a bunch of things that I haven't covered, right? How to add a tab bar, view controller, navigation control, things like that. There's also layered complication to that. It's not too bad. So for example, in app delegate, if you wanted to have a nav bar, for example, I would have done this one. So right here, I would wrote in UI navigation controller, and then it's going to give you a navigation root controller. Whoops, root view controller. We're going to put in view controller. Do that, and if you run it, it's going to give you a nav bar now. As you can see, nav bar right here, and then your hello world still here and things like that. So that's how you would add a tab bar. I mean a nav bar, for example. There's much more things you can do with it and whatnot, right? You used to have the push and stuff like that. So for example, if we had another view controller here, like hello button tab, we could do like self.navigation controller .push view controller. You know, we could push back view controller, for example, and then true, for example. We just do that for now, right? Oops. View controller, right? Something like that. It'll push it. So basically, every single time you're pressing it, you're pushing it to another view controller, right? So this is like a continuous loop. Something like that. That's like a nav controller and stuff like that. Anyways, like I've said, there's a lot to learn about SnapKit. Feel free to comment down below on whatever you want to learn. If it's something simple enough, I'll type out a comment. If not, I'll probably make another video and add into the course. Again, thanks for watching. In the last video of this course, I'm going to be teaching you how to implement scroll view for this course.